Hey all, it's me, the old deplorable basket case here. So, Simón Bolivar is quite well known for his role in liberating South America from the Spanish colonial empire. Somewhat less well known is a man called Manuel Piar, who was a general who served with Simón Bolivar. Now, Manuel Piar is notable for two things. Firstly, he was the only general in the rebel forces who was mestizo. All the others were white upper class men in the Spanish colonial empire who rose up for the cause of independence. Now, Manuel Piar joined the rebellion particularly because he wanted to see more equality in South America. He wanted more power sharing between the white upper classes and the darker skinned lower classes, people like himself, which, makes sense to me. Sounds perfectly fair to me, but I wasn't around at the time. Being somewhat disappointed by the actual results of the revolution, Manuel Piar became a political opponent of the leadership of Simón Bolivar. Simón Bolivar responded by taking away his command and depriving him of all power. And then there was a conspiracy among certain officers, including Manuel Piar, to oppose the leadership. Wanting to make an example, Simón Bolivar decided to just execute one of them. He picked Manuel Piar. So Manuel Piar was shot. And here's the thing. Independence didn't do much good for anyone. I mean, in concept, yes, not being governed by people from far across the sea is a good thing. Absolutely. But when it comes to actual freedoms and physical welfare, Simón Bolivar himself at one point stated, addressing the Congress of Gran Colombia. Hang on, let me see. He said, "Fellow citizens, I blush to say this: independence is the only benefit we have acquired to the detriment of all the rest." And this isn't the only time that's happened. For example, every country in Africa that was part of the Portuguese colonial empire, these, in terms of human welfare, not one of them has achieved even parity with what it was like before the downfall of the Portuguese colonial empire. Now, I'm not saying independence is necessarily a bad thing. I'm not arguing against it. I certainly think independence is a good thing in and of itself. But it's not the be-all and end-all that a lot of people think it is. Sometimes the only people who benefit from independence are the rich upper class, because then they have a freer hand in oppressing everyone else. That's happened. It's happened a lot. And sometimes having the imperial overlordship there makes things better for the native peoples. For example, in Australia, the British imperial government made a strict rule that 1% of the government's profits from the gold industry had to be spent for the benefit of the Aboriginal people of Australia. After Australian independence, almost literally the first thing that the Australian government did was to amend the Constitution to take that out. So, I'm not saying I'm for imperialism. I'm saying is the real world is really big and complicated, and saying all independence movements are good and all imperialists are bad is an awful oversimplification that has led to a lot of misery. And really, there's nothing we can do about it now, but learning from the past is what we need to do to avoid more of that in the future. And I bring this up today, right now, because Manuel Piar was executed today in 1817. A brave man who started from literally nothing and worked his way up to accomplish great deeds for a cause that he thought was just. And then he was betrayed and cut down. So, thanks for listening to me. I know this may not have been a very well stated thing, but I do feel very strongly that this is a lesson that people need to learn from history, because future history is made today by the people who learn from past history. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the internet jazz, and have a good day, and God bless.